Hello, chat. We're getting started soon. Music's loud. There we go. There's them. Okay, let me fix these cameras.
When they catch up, actually makes you do the thingy where you had to prove that you're in a row. That's messed up.
How come we don't do the one where you have to write the words anymore? Like the curvy words.
Because
Did the robots figure that one out?
Yes.
Yeah, computers figure it out.
Really good at
But they can't identify a fire hydrant.
Well,
and also because we're training their cars.
Yeah, we're training their cars. That's why.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're helping the computers become drivers, so there won't be any more drivers anymore.
CAPTCHAs are just AI learning now.
Yeah, it's distributed learning.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we tweet since we're starting the weird time.
Yes, I will. I am going to bring up our cameras. Hello, everybody. There's that. That's
we need
happening.
to ask. We need to get that Resident Evil overlay, by the way, for Game Master Son.
Yes, I will talk to 1UP versus CPU about that.
But that's a bad game.
Oh shit.
Oh, then Jeff will love it.
I do love bad things. What do you want from me? It's a rule.
That's crazy. Like everything has to be a 10 for mine to be good.
Yeah.
To be bad.
Oh my god! This character is shitting into his mouth and shooting it out like bullets. I know that Kojima thinks it's cool, but I know it's bad, so it's funny. I really like that.
Listen, Kojima thinking it's cool, and then other people at Sony having to pretend they also think it's cool is objectively hilarious.
No. Yeah, that rules. We're not arguing that. What we're saying is that the man is too scared to just say, I'm horny. No, she breathes through it.
Oh, well, of course.
Jeff.
You didn't like Death Stranding.
Well, no, I didn't dislike Death Stranding all that much. I just thought it wasn't as good as Mud Runner or Spin Tires.
That's a bad game too, motherfucker.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I have no opinion on Mud Runner yet.
Okay, let's tweet.
Mike, this is the man you get into arguments with. You hear what he's saying, right?
The problem is I respect his opinion. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's where you fucked up.
Let me guess. Mike, do you like The Room?
I bet
you
the room. The room is really good.
Remember now, you love The Room.
Have you seen the apple, Mike? Have you seen the apple?
Failure. We all point at him and go, ha ha. Like, a lot of people think Kojima rules. He gets away with that weird shit, like the quiet shit.
But this is an active decision I've made in life where I'm like, I try not to let other people thinking something is awesome or thinking something is bad affect me too much. Because then it just taints everything.
Oh, sure.
You had to roll his eyes when he pulled out the I want to blur the lines between movies and games thing again.
I rolled my eyes and I'm like, oh my God, he's getting away with it.
He is, that's it. He's getting away with it. And it amuses you and it angers me.
Well, part of it amusing me, obviously, is you getting mad about it too.
That's fair.
God, so many people after that last the public Jeopardy are like telling me, God, I just like it when Mike gets stuff wrong and gets mad. Like unprompted. I don't bring it up at all. And like Jan was saying that. Yeah.
Even I have to admit the Deus Ex thing was incredible. And that wasn't me playing anything up. That was just me actually getting mad.
Yep.
It's my greatest curse how funny it is when I get mad. I know it. I can't help it. It's not an act.
Oh boy.
That sounds like we should support Kojima into like erasing the line between games and movies and series. So
yeah,
that's gonna get.
He did that. He did that 25 years ago or whatever already. What are you talking about?
It's gonna do it again.
Like, how much blurrier could it get that I go to see a movie and they hand me a controller? Like, how much more are we going to blur it?
Bitch, now you're playing. Yeah.
Like, what else can you do? How could it be more blurred than Metal Gear Solid 4? What are you talking about?
I love it that that's still his thing. Like, it's just it's crazy.
It's because he got lightning in a bottle, and the man's still trying to chase it all these years later.
I love that everybody around him can't say no to him because, like, if you say no, you're uncool. And like, that's just death. That's
it's like saying no to Miyamoto. Like, you don't say no to the guy who made Metal Gear Solid.
Right.
It's like, well, you look like an idiot then.
And the fact that he has like embraced that and started using that magic spell on actual celebrities. is
So fucking smart.
it's so choice. It's so good.
Oh, Lord.
Okay,
So good.
I think we're about ready. Let me turn that off and get the music.
Podcast, yeah.
Oh
Yeah, test the music. Did you tweet it about it?
I did tweet, yes.
Let's fucking go.
We're doing it early.
Watching-
Steph's got a work thing because it's she's doing something that is actually I think in European time, like Far East European time. So it's gonna be like early morning at when she's gonna start that work thing at like 10 p.m. So finishing up at a decent time tonight would be very helpful. So we should probably get on with things. Let me test this.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start
Perfect.
cheering now.
Okay, so I got to turn that up for them.
Pretty good.
That's gonna be good. All right, I think we're ready,
All right.
Mike.
Let's
Ready
do this
to.
shit.
Okay, starting in 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now. Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, should we not be expecting Switch 2 news anytime soon? And Nintendo games just continue to sell like crazy. And hey, what else is going on over there? Why is the Xbox house on fire, Mildred? But first, Jeff Grubb, how are you doing?
I am the newest member of the Suicide Squad. I've enlisted, and I'm a believer.
Oh my God! First you're a WWE booking apologist, and now you're going to become a Suicide Squad apologist. And like Jan, you're probably going to like play 5 hours of Persona 3 and hate it, and then go on about how great Suicide Squad is.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Jan was like, just like, I don't get Persona. I'm not having fun. And then he's like, I like Suicide Squad. I'm like, I bet that makes a lot of people very angry. And here I've met one.
Yes, it makes me mad. It makes me specifically upset.
And then I was like, and then I stopped and went, oh shit, that's probably going to be me too. Like, yeah,
it will be you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, because like Persona, I get why like you and Dan like a Dragon a lot, and I will like it a lot too because it's goofy.
For sure,
it doesn't
yes.
take itself that seriously. Persona 3 takes itself much more seriously. It has goofier moments, but not nearly like a dragon.
Yeah, like a dragon, it feels like every time I read a line, every time they come up with a bit in combat where it's like the giant frozen fish, it's like they just did whatever made them laugh in every scenario, and I really appreciate the game for that. So yeah, really enjoying that.
I definitely am going to get to it eventually. I'm definitely busy with Persona, and am really enjoying it. In fact, it's weird because, you know, I always play the Switch at night in bed. I've been doing that almost every day for years now. And, you know, when I got the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, I kind of played around with them a bit, but didn't really get into a habit with that. But right now, like, my habit is, it's the ROG and Persona at night every day. So I haven't actually played my Switch in like several days in a row now. And for like the first time in a long time, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I've definitely been in ruts like that before, where it's like, oh man, I haven't picked up the Switch in a bit. That's just because of the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or the INEO. I am considering like it is time to really look at that Switch library and see what I missed and go back. And the more I think about it, it might be Astral Chain. I might go back and try to play Astral Chain. I think I could probably get some joy out of that. I'm not sure though.
Maybe. I don't think you'll like Astral Chain because it has a similar, like, it took itself too seriously for me, and it was kind of surprisingly talky for what I was expecting. I don't know.
That's poison for old Jeffy.
We'll
Cody
see.
Owens in chat says, need Mikey on Dandoko Dare. He did very poorly.
Apparently, I got one point I had to leave because for shoot, my neighbor called and her circuit broke or something, so I had to go flip a switch in her basement because she can't go down here with her walker. So I do that and come back, and I'm like, can I get a point for that? And I think 2 points were taken away.
Wes, I don't know what you expect. Dan's a harsh judge. Judge.
For fair.
I am. I'll tell you what. I am really wondering about how people were going to respond to that Switch, or I'm sorry, the Nintendo financial report. And almost universally, everyone's like, "Oh boy!" Like pulling at their collar, like, "I don't know about the Switch 2 anymore." It's kind of funny to see the response to that. I'm like, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in a second here. But if you're watching live, thank you so much, everybody. We know we're starting a little bit earlier for you live, folks, so we appreciate you still hanging out with us. Send a super chat. We will read all of those during the show. I see quite a few there already, so thank you so much. And if you're watching live, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps more people find the show. But yeah, Jeff, let's all get into it, because Switch sales have now passed 139 million units, according to the most recent financial report. This is up from 132-ish million from the last quarter. So things are still going up. Like, hardware sales are down for sure. This is 7-year-old hardware, but software still selling a ton. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has now sold over 60 million copies.
3.5 million in the last quarter.
Tears of the Kingdom is over 20 million now. Super Mario Brothers Wonder has sold almost 12 million copies now in 3 months. This is neat. Mario RPG has sold 3.14 million units in under 2 months. That is very good for that.
Yes,
that is definitely on pace to become the best-selling Mario RPG ever. I think it's already outsold the SNES version, which is weird to me.
Yeah, you know, there's more people.
So much different. Yeah.
Yeah. There was like 1 billion people on Earth back then. I know that's not right. I'm just saying numbers, everybody.
I think Bowser's Inside Story is the best-selling one with like over 4 million-ish or something like that. So this is gonna get there. I wonder if that means like they're gonna find a way to do a new one of these. I don't know.
I mean, I hope so. It seems like that number is ripe for them being like, hey, we will do one of these every so often forever now. I hope so.
A few other interesting ones here. Pikmin 4 has sold 3.33 million copies, so good for Pikmin. Luigi's Mansion 3, which we meme about a bit, Jeff, has now sold 14 million copies.
Yep.
Can you imagine how
no
ecstatic Microsoft would be if Starfield sold 14 million copies?
Yeah, right. That's what we taught. Like, it had like 6-7 million players really fast, and that's like Game Pass and stuff. So it didn't even have like 14 million players, let alone 14 million in sales at $60, which is what Luigi's Mansion 3 has had, with a few sales very rarely here and there at like $45. So Nintendo's ability to stick with games and then get them to a point where they are ready to go with a late sequel that pops off on the Switch is just proven over and over again. Luigi's Mansion is the poster child for that, though.
It's like, at first it was funny to us, like, haha, it's so funny that Luigi's Mansion 3 has sold so well, and now it's like a fact of life. Like, Luigi's Mansion 3 is a big deal. And that sequel, when that happens, that is going to be marketed as a much bigger deal than Luigi's Mansion 3 ever was, even though it did get pretty good marketing. Right,
yeah. I mean, I think it would be treated as something like, this is a reason to get a Switch 2. I think they would position it that way. And that's probably going to be the case for some people who like that kind of fun, spooky game that has those vibes, but is still very cute in Mario, and is a ton of fun to play and has great animation. It's just got all these features that really make it stand out, and clearly people have latched onto it.
Yeah, I mean, like Switch 2, year 3, it'll be like the big holiday game, along with like a Pokemon or something else, but it'll be a big anchor there. So about 140 million Switches sold. That's like 10, 15 away from really breaking through the next records.
That's right.
Held by the DS and the PlayStation 2. Do you think we're getting there, or is the Steam kind of starting to dwindle at this point?
So what was it this past quarter? It sold like 3.5, 4 million.
Yeah, it was 132.5 million, and now it's like 140. So yeah, about you could say like 7 million.
Okay,
maybe.
7 million over the holiday period. That's right. That sounds right. Yeah, and they increased their target for the fiscal year, which ends in March, up to like 15.5 million Switches sold for the entire fiscal year.
Well, they did that. Well, for the entire fiscal year, though, yeah.
For the entire fiscal year, and that was this past year, and that's for the past 9 months, and then up through the end of March. I think it'll be very difficult for them to repeat 15 million Switches sold again in the following fiscal year. But they could probably get to like 10 pretty easily, and then all they need is 5 in from March 2025 through the end of that year. It seems very much within reach, especially if they have some new really high value bundle that puts like, put Zelda and a Mario game in a bundle or something like that, that would probably push it over the top.
Are you surprised we just haven't had at this point a Mario Odyssey Breath of the Wild bundle?
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but I mean those games sell. So when you
They
start
still sell at $60.
when you start looking at these numbers, it's very easy to understand why they don't. They continue to be correct about these games are worth spending the money on, in our opinion, and everyone goes, yeah, okay, here's $60 5 years after this game came out.
Right, and I mean, so, Breath of the Wild is at 31.6 million copies sold. Mario Odyssey at 27.65 million copies sold. So, yeah, that's just a ton. I mean, I guess the question is going to be is what is going to happen? How are sales going to be impacted when Switch 2 is announced? When Switch 2 is out? Is there going to be a price drop on the Switch 1? Is the Switch 2 going to be so backwards compatible that it's going to be kind of hard for people to pick up that old hardware instead of just waiting for the new one? I'm not sure. We don't know about that. And kind of, speaking about Switch 2, not that they were ever going to announce Switch 2 at as part of financials.
They would start to mention these things, like the NX, I think, got mentioned. The Switch first got mentioned as the NX in a financial report, I think. So
right.
Stuff like that happens. They're not going to announce it, but they do start talking about these things in things like this before.
Now, instead, though, Nintendo President Shintaro Furukawa has said that the Switch, this Switch, is going to remain the company's main business. Paraphrasing from Nintendo, if you're going into 2024, he declined to comment on new hardware plans. Now, you could read that multiple ways, Jeff. I mean, for one thing, he doesn't really, what's main business mean? Well, yeah, the Switch is going to be out way more than the Switch 2 would be if it comes out this year. So, yeah, I guess the Switch is the main business. Although, if you're launching new hardware, even if it comes out later in the year, I feel like that might be your main business. Yeah. I don't know, Jeff. How do you read this? I read it as, okay, I don't think we're going to hear about the Switch 2 this month. Sure, I was maybe a little skeptical on that, and now I'm pretty sure that's happening. Do you read it like maybe some people are like, oh, we're not getting a Switch 2 this year after all?
No,
that far with it?
No, definitely not. Because this lines up with how I was talking about it beforehand, right? Where it's very unlikely we would hear about the Switch 2 in this next upcoming Direct. They have, in their opinion, unfinished business with the Switch. They probably have they say that the games they've already announced are important enough to continue focusing on them first, and then they probably do have one or two other things yet to announce that are a pretty big deal. I think it's Metroid Prime 4 still, but maybe I could be wrong about that. But something along those lines, probably at least one more game like that. And then after that, they can move on. And really the story here is it doesn't take that long these days to launch hardware in terms of marketing. Once they're ready to announce it, from that point to actually launching it, Nintendo's not like we need a year and a half to tell people about these things. We don't need even a year. We need about 6 months, maybe even 3 to 6 months. And people will show up. We know how to command attention. We know how to get people excited. And we know if we have 12 million Switch 2s ready to sell on day one, we will sell every single one of them in an instant, basically.
Yep.
So I don't think that they are all that concerned about, boy, we got to start looking ahead to the future because if we don't, we're really going to struggle. It's like, no, let's take care of what we have right now. And then when it's time to move on, we will, and that'll happen very quickly. And we know how to do it. We've done a bunch before, and there's an argument to be made. We're some of the best in the world at doing that. So let's just continue treating the Switch as the most important thing because it's still making us a ton of money. The underlying monetary story here when it comes to the financial report is Switch hardware sales down. Profitability is way up. They're making more money than they ever have from the Switch right now. And so, why mess with that when they could still keep taking profits for quite some time?
Yep, and I think that's all right. Kind of other thing here, Jeff, is we're all on Nintendo Direct watch. Nothing announced yet. Do you think an announcement could still come this week?
Probably not. I feel like listen, maybe a Nintendo Direct Mini drops tomorrow out of nowhere. But the way I heard it was like something probably should happen by the middle of February. This week is technically, I guess, the second week of February, and if you want to count it that way. But no, next week could easily be when we get the Direct. I still just don't know for sure about a Direct.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what that's going to look like. Because hey, it could. They could gesture towards Switch 2. I'm beginning to think we don't hear anything about it at the next Direct.
Yeah, I mean, for the next Direct, I really don't think we will hear anything about it. I think they want to focus on the games they've already announced, and then they might have some surprises, but it won't be the Switch 2.
All right, Jeff, let's take a little break here. We'll come back. We got a bunch of super chats from all the lovely folks. We'll read those in a moment here.
Hooray.
Break.
All right, we can go right back to it.
Just give me one quick second.
No, you have to go now.
Fuck.
Oh, shit. 2013. Year of the Luigi. Let's go. Remember that? That was his year.
I remember the
listen,
year.
I think about the weird Luigi every week.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
You know what? How bad? No, I'm not going to say that joke. Never mind.
No.
Oh, you can say it now.
What? Now I have to say, how bad it could have been. It got a 9 out of 11.
That's true.
It's just a
It's
bad
not.
joke. I'm not offended. Just mad.
Yes,
That's the appropriate response. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I'm good.
There we go.
And we're back. Jeff, I would like you to apologize for bringing up 9/11.
Yeah, sorry for bringing up 9. Wait, you brought up 9/11. You started it.
You made it way worse.
Oh, way worse.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. We got super chats. Why don't you read this before people decide they don't want to send us money?
Sounds good. Here we go. Let's start with Bander SN. Hey, Jeff, Virtuous Cycle Grubb, and Mike, the Great Circle Minotti. Can Switch hit another, I got to cut off here, another 16 million units to pass the PS2? We talked about this a little bit, but I mean, I said I think it's possible. It's not like a guaranteed thing, but I think it's possible. What do you think?
It's going to really come down to just how much do those sales fall off a cliff when the Switch 2 comes out. If it's like a 3DS situation, that could be rough. It could be hard, but who knows? It's going to get close enough. I mean, and at some point, like, it's interesting to us, right? Of course. But that doesn't really matter. The Switch is such an unmitigated success, and in a lot of ways, a bigger success than the PS2 ever was, just from how much money it makes and how much software that it sells. So, whatever. Maybe they'll add a DVD drive to it.
Yeah, that'll be it. And they could price it at $99, and everyone will just have to pick up one. It's the default DVD player.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, too. Like, the Switch has never cost $100 like the PS2 did.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
L. Grug, so I've heard of working yourself into a shoot, but did WWE just shoot themselves into a work? And Mike is right, Cody should have finished the story.
I think I think that is maybe shooting themselves into a work for sure.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Maybe. Look, Jeff, I get it. It's interesting, but they're doing a bad job.
Okay, here's the thing. I haven't watched a ton of the shows recently, and then I did watch that SmackDown where The Rock showed up, and I enjoyed that show from top to bottom, and then The Rock showed up, and I'm like, huh. Now, I'm just not 100% convinced that the Rock story doesn't exactly turn out like Daniel Bryan. And if it does, then you know, no harm, no foul, right? Because it's like I think that would be an interesting way of handling things here. But I guess mostly it's like people are so heated about this, and that like is so hard to come by in wrestling for people to be actually this heated. And I'm like, I kind of really prize that. In the same way that I've like really come to value Cody Rhodes, because making white meat babyface work in 2024 is a fucking miracle.
It's very hard.
It's very hard. So I'm just like, they have a lot to work with here that they can at least turn into something interesting, even if that was never the intent. And the intent was always to butter up The Rock for some reason, because you put him on the board of directors.
I think, okay, I'm willing to give you a lot here. You take back what you said on the Bombcast about you actually thinking Roman Reigns is going to hold that belt till 2028. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
You shut the hell. If he leaves this year with that belt, fuck.
Listen, I mean, they probably do need to do something, because the people do. I think what what's his name said yesterday on the SmackDown about people not really caring about
Drew.
What Drew McIntyre said, because everyone knows how the story's going to go and everyone knows how the finish is going to go. That's true.
Right.
Yeah, and he's right. So they probably do have to mix it up. But the more I think about that, the more I think the WWE like really, really wants that. I hope that they do find some other way out of it. But I think that Cody is mostly like down with it because I think it points. I think it echoes back to Dusty getting screwed for years and years trying to win against fucking
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, thank you. And I think he's like, yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm your name guy. You forget names.
I forget names constantly. Yes, you could just be with me constantly while I'm trying to remember names.
I just need to be there to help tell you the names. All right, that's enough wrestling talk. God.
Well, we're going to be talking about it tomorrow if everyone wants to watch the Power Bombcast tomorrow.
We don't. This is a game mess. We don't have a limitation on wrestling talk, so you can just keep going.
That's right.
Am I going to do that in my Quan Chi makeup? I wonder, am I going to have time to take a shower after?
You'll probably have time if you need it.
We'll see. Maybe it won't all come off. I think the gimmick's trying to get a video game set up over there.
The Quan Chi makeup stays on, Mike.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
The entire day.
Sorry, yes. Willow Davis, please give Death Stranding another chance. Heart. Yeah, I actually plan to.
Yeah, I want to play the director's cut at some point. That was a game that playing in the review period kind of felt messed up since so much of it was like based around this weird social, what are other people building, and then they actually show up in the real world kind of thing. I definitely had, I liked the obtuseness of Metal Gear, even when it got a little bit much. I think I need it a little bit more grounded than with Death Stranding. I need to be able to kind of at least make up in my own head why things are the way they are. Death Stranding is very just like, who knows? Ghosts are real. No one seems concerned. Whatever.
I have come around on this a little bit because of the movie Tenet, which is you could sit down with Tenet and try to be like, okay, I'm going to map out what's going on here. And that's nerd shit. And I don't want to do that. So so I get people who are like, no, I don't want to do that either. And so this movie frustrates me because I want to be able to follow a story when someone tells me a story. And I've kind of changed a little bit to be like, well, if I think something's cool in the moment, I'm going to accept that I don't really need to understand the plot necessarily. And that's how I feel about Tenet. I think in the moment, these cool people are wearing cool suits and doing cool things, and I'm okay with that. Now, Death Stranding doesn't always have cool stuff happening, but at least it's like weird and strange and often interesting. And I really don't care about the story because I could tell it's actually just straight up bad. And then the actual gameplay of connecting the world and paving roads and all that stuff actually is
visiting Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, that stuff's actually really interesting and well done. And I like the getting the vehicles and getting like the mech legs and stuff like that. All that stuff is my shit. So I like Death Stranding enough. Let's see. B. Traven, with the passing of Xbox, do you think we might see the rise of the mini PC style console? Thinking about something like the Aya Neo AM2 plus more power. I mean, those things are definitely like slowly on the rise. Now they're nowhere near consoles right now. Maybe I just think that the idea of asking people who have been playing on console for years and years and chose console for a specific reason, mostly that it just works, to now have a PC, a Windows 11 PC plugged in underneath their television is asking a lot. And most people are just going to be like, no, thanks. I'll go get a PlayStation. And so, yeah, I think those things will become more popular. I think the more likely thing to become more popular, though, is going to be the handheld ones. Like those are clearly going to catch on.
Not the time of the Steam machines. I guess, like, I wonder if there's a point where Xbox is almost more like an overlay, like a Steam big picture mode, and the boxes they sell are kind of like PCs. We're probably pretty far away from that, but who knows? Chrono Rig. Hey, dogs, I saw the discourse on Twitter that 20 million for Tears of the Kingdom is not good enough through the holidays. Your thoughts? I will say I'm a little surprised. It sold only like 700,000 copies during the holiday quarter or something like that. But here's it sold 20 million, 19 and change in like the first couple of months. At a certain point, everybody who was raring to get it just got it right away. And so there's only so many more people that were going to pick it up during the holidays anyhow. 20 million copies sold in the first not even year of that game is huge. Most games take a lifetime to get to 20 million if they ever get to 20 million. So it's just not actually all that bad. Yeah, it's like, I get it. It's a little weird that maybe didn't do better in that one specific small time frame, but yeah, 20 million. I mean, it's already immediately the second best-selling Zelda game ever, right? It has to be.
Yes,
So.
it is. That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about Tears of the Kingdom.
All right. All right, kiddo, hang on. Let's see. Kieran Smith says, hey, gents, y'all think that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was being developed as a showpiece for a Switch Pro? No. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, it would explain what they were thinking, right? If they were making something for the Switch Pro, then all of a sudden it's like, oops, never mind. No, I think they just were bad at all that.
I think they're just bad.
Stuff.
Yep, they just don't have enough time, and they're not that good at it to begin with. Let's see here from Allie Miracle. Jeff, I have had sleepless nights trying to figure this out since you mentioned it on Dandoko Dare. What the hell is a Colorado night? Oh,
it's just getting high.
It's getting high on marijuana. That's what it is.
Wow, call the police, everybody.
Yeah, I was like, I was just trying to chill out, and then I kind of realized how late/early it was, and then suddenly I was on Dandoko Dare. It was pretty wild. You guys should just go watch that. It was a good time. It scared the shit out of me. All right, Willow Davis just gives us an emoji with a waving corgi, I think.
Thank you, Willow. Hello.
Thank you, Willow Davis. Appreciate that. And then Trentendo says, assuming Switch 2 is announced sometime between March and May, how do they reveal it? Is it a separate direct or a shadow trailer drop? I think they start with a trailer. I think they start with a video announcement. So, because asking everybody to show up for a direct is like, a lot of us do show up for a direct. If they tell us it's a hardware direct, a lot of people will show up. But a trailer can go viral, and it's very easy for that to get put into other videos and to put on websites, and can be transformed into a commercial really easily. I think they do a trailer first on YouTube. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get a tweet like, join us at so-and-so to learn about the future of Nintendo. And, unlike with Xbox, it'll be good news for everybody. But yeah, I think there'll be a tweet to come watch this thing at this time, and it'll talk about the Switch too.
You gonna do anything special for Valentine's Day / the Microsoft business update?
Oh, is that on that day?
It's got to be around that time. They said next week, so next week is honestly, the direct could happen around Valentine's Day. It probably would happen on Thursday.
They have a Princess Peach game coming out, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Fun. That does it for the super chats, Mike.
God, that's funny. Here's one thing I guarantee on that Xbox thing is the phrase "case by case" will be uttered.
You're right, even if it's not necessarily case by case. Who knows?
Even if, you can go case by case, and the answer could be like, yes, it's going to PlayStation. Yeah, you went through case by case, but... all right, great. Let's take another break here. We got some questions from the Discord community to get to next.
All right.
This kid's playing Sonic Frontiers. Can you just hold down the trigger and run, kiddo? There you go.
All right. Questions here. Let me go to the bathroom very quick.
Yep, no problem.
All right.
Okay.
I was saying that Death Stranding is spin tires coded, or like a SnowRunner coded. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely.
It has the moving around.
What, you mean boring?
The gameplay.
Listen, I get it, but fuck you, Sean.
Also the game.
I mean, I get it. All right.
I'm so sad Dan likes Death Stranding now, because back in the day when that game came out, he would just ban you on his chat just by saying that the name of that game.
Right, and that's more fun. That's
way better than now. I just like it now. It's like, oh, you're boring now. What are you doing? You had a personality.
Sold out.
You had a personality. Man, I need a picture of. Oh, there we go. I said I need a picture of Leia Sedu's weird neck hands for a tweet. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
It took me a second to process that sentence.
Can I be straight with you? I had 2 cups of Sheromate before we got started tonight.
Hey,
so
guess what I'm drinking right now, buddy boy?
It has fucked me up. It's real bad.
It has a lot of caffeine.
I had yerba mate, and that 2 cups. It was way too much caffeine. So if I seem scatterbrained, that's what it is.
Too much sticks.
Yeah.
All right.
Hang on.
All right.
Jeff bringing that up made me check the numbers on that stupid fucking TikTok of the puppet.
How's it
We're up
doing?
to 260,000 views.
That's incredible,
Let's go.
man.
That's
It's always
little
it's
added.
always the stupid ideas that we just shout out in the middle of the show, like that would be funny,
Yeah.
and then they do really well.
Like the talking flowers and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
I have to poop.
That's a lot of pee.
You do one. It's not about poop. All right.
I have to poop. What is
All
this
right.
sound?
Oh, Christian, wow.
girth? What? Oh, sorry.
It's a new addition. Don't
Are you done?
Yes.
And we're back. All right, let's see what our podcast community would like to ask us. Bench JC says, "Hey, dogs, time for a game of Fuck, Marry, Kill. Microsoft, Sega, Atari." Well, Atari's been making some good moves lately, but
Yep.
I have zero affinity for like old Atari stuff, so I guess I'll kill Atari. I'll spend a night with Microsoft and just whisper sweet Crimson Skies into its ear. But yeah, Sega, I know things have changed, but they can still do some good stuff. They released 2 very good games very recently, still somehow, and the nostalgia factor of Sega is incredible. So yeah, I'll marry my high school sweetheart, Sega.
Yeah, I very gently put down Atari. And then I
Not like my grandpa.
not like your grandpa, just no mercy headshot. Headshot to old Rover. And then for Microsoft, I think I fucked Microsoft, and then I think I marry Sega because Sega's about like growth and change, and you have like relationships. You have to like be willing to change with the person and grow with the person and head in the same direction. And it seems like Sega, who they often make mistakes, but they're always trying, and I appreciate that. That's someone you can marry.
And Microsoft doesn't have a character as good as Kiryu.
No, exactly. But I would, I'd fuck Blinks the cat in a second, though.
Yeah. Velocity Prime says, "What's up, fart knockers? Switch is within spitting distance of becoming the best-selling console of all time after a huge flop like the Wii U. Why couldn't Microsoft replicate this pattern? Is it just exclusives or something more?"
I mean,
Well, Microsoft, even Wii U was still able to sell like 8 million copies of Mario Kart because it still had Mario Kart. The incredible thing is how bad the Wii U did with all the strengths Nintendo inherently had.
Yep.
But then the bright side was Nintendo was just able to try again and make something people like, and then release all of their beloved and good franchises on it. Then you suddenly have a hit. Microsoft's next console, the software situation isn't going to suddenly improve.
no, and it's like, I mean, Nintendo is the default choice for families, and I think we undersell that, or we just don't, like, it doesn't register with a lot of us who are in here as enthusiasts. But that goes a long way towards creating this strong foundation, because then there's just a switch in the house. They just got a switch because they got kids and they want to have something to do with them. And then the kids are like, well, I love playing on this thing. Can I get this game looks cool. Can I get this? And then it just takes off from there. Really, the Xbox is a PlayStation. It's a PlayStation with the Xbox name on it. It's the exact same thing. The games are slightly different, but they definitely appeal to the same people. And so it's like you just start doing this matching game. If I can get this or this or this, and for so many people, it's just so much easier to say the PlayStation has these big games, and then all these other third-party games that are on Xbox, and my friends are there. I'm just going to go there.
Are you surprised PlayStation and Microsoft haven't really made a push for younger audiences in the last 15 years or so? Like make like a more kid-friendly branded Xbox or PlayStation, something like that, and really try to get more of those franchises. Like every once in a while you get like PlayStation made a cute Sackboy game or something like that, but not much.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's got to be momentum, right? Where these companies know that it would take years of investing in that to sort of have a game like a Sackboy be like, well, kids know to show up for Sackboy. They love Sackboy. If they had made like 4 of those of similar quality, at a certain point, people are like, yeah, man, I can't wait for the next Sackboy game because I grew up on that stuff. But they just don't have the investment that is there to build on that. So they're kind of starting from scratch in every case when it comes to family games.
Yep, it's tough. Alex asks, who would be the best Nintendo character to represent you in court? Princess Peach did have a pretty good objection in Super Mario Sunshine, but then Mario went to jail anyway, so maybe that's not a fantastic pick. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, definitely Kasuga, Ichiban Kasuga. He would be, he would just dumb luck his way into saving my life.
Ichiban, isn't that?
Wait, did you say Nintendo character?
Yes, Nintendo.
I'm like over here trying to get the thread up because my Discord got closed in my brain. There is okay, I guess the Like a Dragon games, the two of them were never on the Switch. Well then I'll just go with Kiryu. That was on Wii U. Kiryu could beat people up. Sorry, I'm very Like a Dragon pilled right now.
Apparently, Bop World says, "Woof woof to my dogs. What is your ideal Nintendo blue collar video game? Thanks as always. Have a great week." I mean, I think yours was Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, right?
Always is, yes.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I don't have Jeff Grubb's innate desire to like dig holes or like whatever.
And that's a personality failing on your part for sure.
Yeah. I want to run a dry cleaning business in a Nintendo game. How about that?
That'd be
I want
fun.
to see what happens. I want to see what dry cleaning is, right? It's like that old, I think that old Seinfeld bit. He's like, there's got to be a liquid. What are they doing back there? Right?
I mean, yeah, I really have no idea. What is dry cleaning?
What makes it dry?
Do they hit it with like a hammer? I don't know.
He's like, do they have tweezers? Like, what's going on back there?
That's good stuff.
Is it a powder? Like, what is it? So there you go. I can look this up at any time.
I know, and
but
I also refuse to. Yep.
Instead, I just always wonder, what is going on with dry cleaning? What is that? Why are there weird special clothes that can only be cleaned by the professionals? Is it all just a scam?
I definitely tried to clean something in the washer that was dry clean only, and it fell apart immediately.
Yep.
It disintegrated. So clearly that side of it is real. Now, in terms of...
It's not a scam.
Are they actually cleaning it, though? I have no idea.
Next up is Tommy Pencils, who says, "Hey, Mike, it's been nearly 14 years since Final Fantasy 13 came out in the States. It's time to give it a revisit. Hey, Jeff, hope you're doing well."
Thank you for leaving me out of this, Tommy.
The 13 trilogy even is going to get a remaster, repackaging at some point here. I know that it had a very good backwards compatibility boost on Xbox, so that's nice. But within the next few years, it's going to be very easy for us to just buy those games for modern hardware, and that's a point where I'll be probably more curious about revisiting 13 and maybe checking out those sequels after all this time.
13 rules, motherfuckers. 13-2 is better, and Lightning Return is one of the best Final Fantasy ever made. Fuck the haters. Bye.
Thanks to Meathead B for the $50 who retracted their message, but it was basically like, I was going to give this when the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Wind Waker dual pack got announced, but clearly that's fake. Listen, it's not fake, but it just might never happen because Nintendo is weird, and I'm sorry, but thank you for the money. Appreciate it, Meathead.
Thank you, Meathead. Who knows? Maybe, that's where they're focusing their business or whatever this year. It's got to come out sometime.
I think so.
Next.
No, that's you, Mike. I'm sorry. I just read a super chat out of nowhere. You're reading the questions.
I'm just very intrigued because now Meathead's not sure why the message got retracted. I don't know either, Meathead. I don't know what happened there. We saw it though.
If you want to send in another message, I will read it for real.
Yes, I will read it. We will read it verbatim because it was a nice message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't worry. We're looking out for that. Anyways, Jeff, please shut up so I can read the next one.
You're right. I apologize.
Nick Servo says, if Game Pass comes to Switch 2, will it be native ports or just xCloud?
I mean, probably a mix. I don't know if Game Pass comes. I think if it's xCloud, that'll be for like the third party stuff. Like maybe Microsoft or maybe Nintendo would be like okay with that, but probably not. There would probably be a lot of contract issues with that. I think if they can run a game natively, they would run it natively.
Could you really could you get away with a service subscription for something that gives you the 2 Ori games, Cuphead, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush?
No,
it's not enough.
Definitely not.
Inufe says, do you think the Switch 2 keeps the Joy-Cons as the primary control mechanism?
If Joy-Cons are like the Joy-Con V2 or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think there will be better improved Joy-Cons, but I think your old ones will still work there, right? Kind of like with a lot of systems where the old controllers will work. Meathead's got the text here, says, what is the most fulfilling things in your lives right now? And no, Mike, Disney is not an answer. No more $50. My work,
don't give us another 50. Yeah, but for sure.
Yeah. I find my work incredibly fulfilling lately. I don't know. I honestly, I was about to say, it's actually incredible that, I do get to have a voice when ridiculous things like what's going on with Microsoft happen. So I don't know. I'm very grateful for that. I'm also grateful that I get to be a giant goofball on things like Blight Club, and there's actually people watching and giving feedback and saying that they enjoy it or making their own little pieces of content around that. So yeah, I like talking about video games. That's very fulfilling.
Yeah, same. It's a definitely fulfilling for me. I like making little nudges to help other people in their careers, and making sure like Mike was able to get on stuff, getting Turbo Sean involved in Giant Bomb stuff, having even Christian help edit this stuff, and then when I get done with work, being able to just like walk away from stuff and go hang out with the kids and the wife, that stuff is very fulfilling as well. It's like, okay, this made a nice little life for myself where I'm completely happy and wouldn't change anything. So yeah, it's all pretty good over here.
Thank you again, Meathead. All right, next one here is from Hospice. It says, hey, yo, dogs. I finally got around to WarioWare Move It over the weekend, and whilst it's a good game, I cannot get over how many butts there are. Like, so many. Surely it's the most butts in any Nintendo game.
WarioWare is very butt heavy. But that game did have a lot, maybe even for WarioWare. But it did not strike me as like, oh my God, there's so many butts, because I think I'm just used to what WarioWare does with that body part.
Yeah, they're obsessed. I still never played that one. I just don't actually want to play my Switch in my living room.
Yeah, I get it. You definitely have to accept that you're going to be using the Joy-Cons, like, the waggle motes. And that is a hump for people to get over, and a lot of people just won't.
About butts and humps. Now, all right. Next one's from Jeremy Biff. It says, what Nintendo or gaming flash tattoos do you want? It's, the only tattoos I fantasize about, I gotta be honest, are usually like related to Epcot. I don't know if I have like an amazing gaming one. I guess I could get like an E-Tank from Mega Man, or like the Mega Man 1-Up pixel. It'd be something Mega Man, probably. What about you though, Jeff?
What is a flash tattoo?
It's like when you I googled it. It's when you like go to a parlor and they're having kind of like a deal where you go in that day and you get a quick tattoo. It's usually like just like a black and white something. It's not something very elaborate.
Well, in that case, maybe Kirby. I would get like a Kirby doodle, maybe even like a small little Kirby on the knuckle or something like that. That would be fun. But I don't want tattoos. I don't like tattoos, so I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think I want tattoos. I like the idea of getting like one at some milestone year, like 40 or 50, as some weird novelty, because I'm a weird novelty person. But I would definitely like put it somewhere where you generally cannot see it. Yeah, because I'm a coward. Eden, the mother queen of Slay, says best gaming father figure, not daddy. You sickos. That's a good question. Well, now I said that's a good question, and I immediately heard that's a good question from Dr. Light and Mega Man. I'm like, Dr. Light's a pretty good father figure.
That's good.
He's just always very supportive. I mean, he sends his son out to danger constantly.
Well, yeah,
so much danger.
It's like that Japanese television show where they send out the 3-year-olds to go get groceries or whatever. It's the exact same thing. Dr. Light's pretty good. I would. Good.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I would. The old man that gives you apples at the beginning of Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
That's a good father figure. Just, apples are very important.
Yeah, all of the fathers in Tekken are terrible.
Yes.
Like so many people in that game just need a hug.
Right. That's actually what Tekken translates into. It's beat your son. So yeah.
Incredible. I want to give that even some more thought there. That's a good question. I like that. Let's see here now. Lenny Kudik Denver says, hey, Mike, Cody should have finished the story last Mania Minotti, and Jeff, give it another 3 years to play out. Crap, that's what he's saying. That is what he's saying.
I'm not saying that. I just say
what he said.
I think they might be doing that.
Great. Any plans for the Super Bowl this weekend? Mainly asking to request the return of Mezcal. Mike, I forgot about Mezcal. I still have some Mezcal.
Oh, no.
I think my brother's having people over. It's going to be low key. That's it. Nothing crazy. Or like that. Jeff, maybe you should come by. I don't know if you want to hang out.
I do want to hang out.
Your wife owes you, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I might be able to make that happen. I'll just double check and make sure we don't have any plans already. But yeah, that'd be fun. My plans is just to get some of those Tostitos chips and that cheese sauce that they sell.
Yes, just like that cheese. Oh yeah,
just the cheese sauce and Tostitos. That sounds like a good night to me.
Come a time when you need those Tostinos. Comes the time when you need a meal quick, but you want a snack with a spicy kick. Put it in the oven or the microwave. Think
Corporate
about all
BS.
the time you say. corporate. I'm about punk rock. Okay.
I'm about punk
doing
rock
Tim and Eric,
pizza.
everybody. Screaming Madden says, have you thought about how wild it is that Sea of Thieves is rumored to come to PlayStation 5? I say this because Rareware has made many games for Nintendo and Microsoft consoles, but never had any playable on Sony hardware. What if Rare Replay or Killer Instinct goes to PS5? I mean, yeah, I guess I never thought about in terms of, wow, a Rare game on PlayStation, but Rare is so... Like, I don't really equate Sea of Thieves Rare with Banjo-Kazooie Rare. And not, like, some people today, like, you say any video game company like Rocksteady, like, oh, Rocksteady's not what it used to be. Like, oh, so many people left. And I'm always like, of course. Like, yeah, absolutely. Do you know how long ago that was and just how things work these days? But yeah, it's interesting. Of all the Microsoft games going to other consoles, boy, we better get Rare Replay on Switch. That would rule.
That would be fantastic. Hey, Killer Instinct going on PS5. That'd be awesome too. More people playing Killer Instinct. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Mr. Boris says, hey, Nintendogs, the Lunar New Year is coming up, and 2024 is the year of the dragon. What are some of your favorite games that have the word dragon in the title? Here you go, Jeff. Here's a question for you.
Yeah, Double Dragon. Sorry, a little swerve for you.
I think all the time about how when I was a kid, I was like, I didn't just like Double Dragon. I was like, oh, Double Dragon's important.
Oh, same. Like Double Dragon. I'm like, oh, they're making a Double Dragon movie? Of course they are. Of course they are.
Like Double Dragon had one of the first like crossover games with the Battletoads. They didn't always do that.
No,
like,
they do it for Double Dragon though, because it's important.
But Double Dragon is a big, important franchise that'll be around forever.
This is gonna be a big part of my life, my children's lives.
Right, exactly. I guess we did get a new Double Dragon game last year. I don't think anyone but me or you cared, but it happened.
That's true. All that's true.
We were like, this is neat. Everyone else like, what? When they were playing, freaking Alan Wake or whatever. But yeah. Dragon Quest 11 is fantastic. I'm trying to think if that's my favorite game with the word dragon in the title. Obviously, you are loving Like a Dragon. If
I am liking
that
a lot, yes.
You think you're going to go back to any other games in that series after you play through that?
If I did, I would go back and I would probably try Yakuza 0. But I think I'm going to have a difficult time enjoying any of the other games as much as I'm enjoying this one. This one seems like it's just hitting all the high notes at such a high level, and then it's got the kind of the turn-based combat that I think is much more interesting than the brawler combat they had before.
Oh, Kevin in chat says Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. That's a good pool there, Kevin. I like that. So that's a whole thing in China, right? With like the Year of the Dragon, all the dragon babies, and like the unreasonable expectations that they put on them. Like they're supposed to just be inherently better,
right? And the statistics prove out that like those children are inherently better, and so they looked into it. And they're like, oh, it's because the parents get them all this tutoring and all this stuff because they're like, well, this one's going to pay off. And it's like, oh man, if we put high, it was like one of the things that made people realize if you have high expectations for children, they will perform better. And that's like informed a lot of education in America recently. Yep.
Chaos Buckaroo says, howdy fellas. I beat Star Ocean's second story artist weekend. I know Mike had ups and downs with it, but I thought it was amazing. I get jealous hearing old folks talk about the magic of classic JRPGs back in the day. This was that for me. Yeah, I don't mean to be like super down on it or anything like that. But there is definitely something to JRPGing in that PlayStation 1 era when it was really popping off, especially here on the back of the success of Final Fantasy VII. That was a ton of fun. So anything that kind of revisits that or brings that magic back is definitely cool.
That music playlist, I think it's the music playlist that Sean provided for me. Something has been causing a lot of Chrono Trigger music to play for me on YouTube Music. And I'm like, man, I should finally just really play that game. I should go back and actually really play that game.
Would you want to play that for funds or for content?
I would do it for content. That'd be a good way to kind of stick with it.
I think I would want you to play for content, but only if it's only me talking to you while you do it.
Okay.
I don't want too many distractions.
Sure. Yeah.
Not that I'm saying certain people are distracting, but
of course not.
Like we take it seriously. I'll read all the voices if you want. Even
no, I don't want that.
Everyone else does.
Sure, you think that.
Chrono Trigger is very good.
Yeah,
very good.
I think I would probably enjoy that quite a bit.
You would like Chrono Trigger. Everyone likes Chrono Trigger. You ever see ones like, I played all Chrono Trigger and don't like it. I think it's overrated. What? No.
No, I've never seen anyone say that. Nope.
Always Be Clothing says, Jeff touched the sun and became a plant grub, and
Yep.
Mike punished Fujiminati. How did Nintendo stay out of the Xbox Sony drama? Because they always stay out of it, because they've been staying out of it for years now.
They just turned around, right? They just turned their back around and be like, oh, there's all this money over here. Like, hey, look at all these people that want to buy video games. They don't care about any of this shit. And they're just like, they got kids and they'll buy games and they'll buy 20 million copies of Super Mario Party. Like, yeah, they got their own blue ocean, and it turned out it was just like making games for people who like playing video games.
Yeah, they've been staying out of it since the Wii era, and it's worked out very well for them for the most part. Does it bother you that Super Mario Party has sold much better than Mario Party Superstars? Granted, Mario Party Superstars has also sold well.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
we're just old that we like the old nostalgic one, because it plays a million times better.
It is better. I think I just accept it for what it is, right? Super Mario Party was a default game for a lot of people that were buying the Switch throughout the pandemic, and I think that Super Mario Party or Mario Party Superstars came out through like near the end of the pandemic, right? Or halfway through or something like that. And it had online, it was cool, but for a lot of people it's like, well, Super Mario Party's right there and we already got that one. But then I think Mario Party Superstars has sold like almost 15 million copies or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly.
I actually still play that a good bit. I had a game not too long ago with friends.
I haven't played in a minute. I would like to play again. We haven't done Mario Party in a while.
It's the best way to play Mario Party for me right now. It's just playing that. Leah at it again says, hi, fellas. I'm playing Metroid Prime 3 on OG hardware. Will we eventually get a version where the controls aren't ass? Please, my weak baby wrists are dying. Jeff, are we going to get the Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 ports or remasters? Please.
Guys, it's like it's Nintendo. And it like literally, they just moved Metroid Prime's release around for the fuck of it. They were like, yeah, we'll just shadow drop it. I think they just decided that on a whim. They have had this Fire Emblem genealogy of the Holy War game done for, I think, going on 2 years now. Just sitting there. You guys want me to explain this company and predict what it's going to do? I have no fucking idea. These things, as my understanding is, these things are done and ready to go. Does that mean Nintendo is going to ever actually put them out? I don't know. I really don't know. Now, if you want to play Metroid Prime 3 with good controls, just go get fucking the version of Dolphin that you can play with mouse and a keyboard, and it actually rules. Yeah. It's so cool. That's nice. It feels really good.
Yeah, I just really want to play Metroid Prime 2 and 3, and I'm being stubborn about waiting for it on my Switch. I sure do hope. Like, honestly, almost more than anything else, it's kind of messed up. The thing I want the most in the next direct, almost even more than Metroid Prime 4, is I want Metroid Prime 2 remastered.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's even more likely than Metroid Prime 4. So,
hey, why? How come they don't give any Metroid sales numbers in the financial reports? No Metroid Dread, no Metroid Prime remaster.
I think they only update things that like sold a certain number in the or like reached a certain milestone or in the top 10 for the quarter and stuff like that. Okay, because I don't think we haven't had an update on Metroid Dread since the 2022 Q4, I think, something like that. So yeah, that's just how it always works for them.
Beef Hammer says, hey, Mike, it's pretty cool to see you on the AGDQ stream this year. Are you planning on going to any other conventions this year? Maybe like PAX East. I don't know if you heard of SawCon. I think it's in Cleveland this year. I still trying to figure out what's going on with PAX East. I know Giant Bomb's going. I would like to go. We're still ironing that out. I'm not sure about GDC either. I don't know what SawCon is. I hope it's not about the movies Saw, because I won't be quite as interested. But,
is this for real?
What for real?
Did you just ask that for real?
Hang on. Beef Hammer asked me to explain this to you if you didn't know what it was. Suck on these nuts, Mike.
Suck on these nuts, Mike. Mike, suck on these nuts.
Oh my god.
It's been a while. We had to bring it back. Sorry.
I'm gonna get a beer. You can read the next one.
We did it, everybody. Oh god, we're so fucking back. We are so back.
I think it hasn't been since surprised. Like AJ was on 2 years ago that you got him with one of those.
Oh man, I'm just
what?
God, I'm gonna be floating on clouds this entire week.
Confused. That is, everybody knows that one. That's the
It's
default.
been a long time, you know. He just forgot.
It's like
It happens.
It's like
It
getting
happens.
killed by a fireball. Then what?
And it was Beef Hammer too. That makes it even better. A Weed Hater says, "Has there ever been a better time to launch an Xbox-centric podcast? Last of the console-exclusive Master Chiefs has a nice ring to it." Very good, Weed Hater. Very well done.
Famous ally of mine, Beef Hammer.
He set me up.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have an Xbox podcast. There's a lot of those Xbox podcasts. They do really well. It seems like I feel like there's more Xbox podcasts than PlayStation podcasts, despite PlayStation seemingly, it's not seemingly being more popular than Xbox. Is that just bias based on the people I know?
Say it again.
I know two PlayStation podcasts, right? I know XOXO and I know Sacred Symbols, and I know tons of Xbox podcasts.
Yeah, I think that there is the kind of thing where the people who are into Xbox are like, we got to stick together sort of thing. And the people who are into PlayStation are like, well, I get my PlayStation news everywhere. That's just kind of the default. And so I think there's a little bit of that happening. But there's a lot of very popular PlayStation content on YouTube. So no, I think it just takes a slightly different flavor.
Jeff.
Yeah.
I went and got this beer mostly as a joke. I forgot it's 10%.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, stay with us, buddy.
So just,
No, yeah, I'm here for you.
You just pull me back.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't make any 9/11 jokes.
No, we already did that anyways.
What
Evo Jana says, take one Microsoft and one Nintendo IP to make a crossover game in a genre neither IP is traditionally known for. Ala, Mario, Rabbids, RTS. Okay. How many Microsoft IPs are there anymore?
Yeah. Wait, bring something back. You do your Crimson Skies, Cross, Star Fox. That actually is too. Those are too close, actually. So it'd have to be something.
Okay. Yeah. Banjo-Kazooie, Mario, Dry Cleaning Simulator.
Okay. There you go. Perfect.
That's what I want.
I'll do Gears of War and Star Tropics, and it will be a Hyali sports game.
I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking. I'm not crazy. I think that the handling of Crimson Skies is the inherent problem with Microsoft from the beginning. You had a game that was good and did well enough, and instead of investing in that, it just falls off the face of the planet and never heard from it. Even Fusion Frenzy, people joke about Fusion Frenzy. Even the ones people joke about, like Fusion Frenzy and Blinks.
If they announced a new Fusion Frenzy, I don't think maybe not today, because people are like, well, this is. But if they done one like 5 years ago, I think it would have been like, whoa, that's actually kind of awesome. I'm kind of looking forward to that, and I think it could have done really well.
Right, or I mean, they were trying to do it 1 versus 100, but I think that just has more impact than, hey, we bought Ninja Theory, so now Hellblade 2 is something you should associate with us more than before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And Texas says, hey, dogs, straightforward sports question this week. Who will win Super Bowl 58? The San Francisco 49ers or Kansas City Chiefs?
Patrick
also,
Mahomes.
is Taylor Swift an NSA PSYOP?
Oh, of course. Yeah. But duh. Tell me something anyone doesn't know. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes always wins. He's going to win.
I actually I don't dislike either of these teams, I gotta be honest. A lot of people from this area like the 49ers a lot. My problem with that is that my brain's very stupid. And last week I was rooting against the 49ers on your behalf, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
So now it's like difficult for me to root for them now.
Sure, to shift back into gear, yeah.
I can't it's very hard for me to do that. What happened to Katy Perry?
Ask it again. I'm sorry, the kiddo just
What
said something
happened
at the same
to
time.
Katy Perry?
I don't know. She dated Russell Brand and seemed to regret that so much that I think she just wanted to go away for a while.
I feel like I'm not following close attention. I thought there's a time in my life where Katy Perry and Taylor Swift were like equals, and I just haven't heard from Katy Perry in a while.
No, Katy Perry had that one album where like 5 songs in a row were #1 hits, and like no one had done that since Madonna or something like that. She was the biggest thing in the world, and then Taylor Swift enchanted a generation of girls, and now here we are.
Is there a comeback coming?
Probably.
Taylor Swift's not stopping because there's just a new album coming out now, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it has another like blurry picture of her as the cover. so it'll sell like 5 zillion copies. Be great.
I mean, listen, I don't have an opinion on Taylor Swift all that much. Sounds like you just hate her.
No, I don't mind Taylor Swift.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, it is another blurry picture of her.
Sure, and it is going to sell 5 million
Like,
copies. Of course, it'll probably sell way more than that, actually.
So Taylor Swift is PlayStation, Katy Perry's Xbox.
Listen, I don't think Xbox was ever as popular as Katy Perry.
360 era?
Maybe.
Katy Perry.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, sure. There you go.
What's Nintendo? It's Nintendo Madonna.
Yeah, Nintendo's like
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga. Right, just doing her own thing over there, Nintendo.
Laser Wolf says, "Hello, Jeff. Lions are winning the Super Bowls next year. Grubb and Mike Beardfest attending Minotti." Beerfest was great, and I got a little tipsy. It was fine. Then we went to some Italian restaurant afterwards to hang out, and I got a giant plate of gnocchi and ate it all because my sick Italian brain's like, well, you can't leave food on the table, and I wanted to die. I felt like other people were hanging out partying. I'm like, I have to go home. This is a problem.
I gotta sleep this off. I can't be awake to feel this anymore.
I ate too much potato dough covered in red sauce. I need help. I'm sorry. Do you think Xbox leaked all the multi-platform stuff to help take attention off the fact Cody Rhodes he gave up his main event title match at WrestleMania to The Rock? I got so excited when this was all happening. I remembered that The Rock introduced the Xbox.
You were having a lot of fun with that.
It all ties together somehow.
They're always working together. So this could be it again for sure.
Here we go.
Man, they turn Rock into a heel about this, it'll go so well. You guys will eat your words.
Yeah, we'll see. Clegg says, any chance that the Direct will actually... I just don't think The Rock could be... I think The Rock thinks he is the greatest thing to ever happen. I just don't think he can ever be a heel. I mean, to be clear, even Cody Rhodes was unwilling to be a heel in AEW, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Cody Rhodes is a bit above that himself.
No, but I think Cody Rhodes is right.
Otherwise,
Cody Rhodes is right that he needs his long-term face run. And I think The Rock is wrong because no one wants to have him do his shtick anymore. No one wants that anymore.
No one wants him to come out and like call somebody like a box of Cookie Crisp and
But Cookie Puss, is that what he said?
Well, he said Cookie Puss the punk, and I still don't get it.
I don't think there's anything to get. But people, man, they never stop calling him that after that. CM Punk to this day, still Cookie Puss.
He was really proud of himself for getting the Fruit Loops thing, Fruit Loops over with Cena, right? Or Fruity Pebbles, whatever. Yeah, Fruity Pebbles. And it's Cena, because he's fantastic. It's just like, I'm going to be on the box of Fruity Pebbles now. Because that's what a genius he is.
Yep.
Clink says, any chance the Direct will actually be about the Nintendo Switch and we just been looking at a typo the Nintendo Swatch, and we've just been looking at a typo this entire time. I'm going to say a small chance, Clink, no chance.
Yeah, you're onto something there, but who knows if that's exactly how it'll play out.
Juan Gift says, I recently beat Final Fantasy 16 despite finding it incredibly tedious, purely because I put so much time into it and needed to see it through. Are there any games you had this sunk cost fallacy with, or does your job demand that you drop things as soon as you lose interest? Anyway, if anything, the job demands that we finish things that we've lost interest in.
Yeah, but my ADHD demands I put it down. Yes, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I did it with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That was a very long JRPG. At a certain point, it's like, well, I guess I'm beating this shit, right? Like I'm 60 hours in. I may as well be 80 hours in and finish it.
If I'm in the last 5% of something, I will definitely see it through. If it's like, oh, you got like 8 hours left, well, fuck it, I'm out.
Dr. Ryan says, serious infinite wealth question. Do you think Ichiban Kasuga has ever actually had sex?
No. And I'm serious. I don't think he's ever actually had sex. I don't think he knows what sex is.
Adam JC says, Jeff, the hair's looking pretty good these days. Plan to grow it back out, or are you going to rock it with this length for now?
It's kind of difficult for me to go to a barber and say, hey, can you maintain this length? It never really works out. Just because the curls, I think it's very difficult for them to predict. And I don't have any one barber that I've stuck with long enough for them to learn it. So I kind of have to just let it keep growing, and then I'll go trim it up a little bit. It's looking kind of crazy on the sides. And then it looks weird for a couple of days, and then things kind of grow back in there. That's kind of the plan right now. But hey, who knows? Maybe I'll say something stupid and have to shave it off again.
That'd be fun. Ed says, what happens first? Cody Rhodes finishes the story or Nintendo reveal new hardware? That's hard because I think Cody Rhodes has a 50-50 chance of finishing a story at WrestleMania. And then Nintendo reveal hardware. Do I think that's happening before April? Either way, I don't know. God, I can flip a coin on this one, Jeff. I'll let you go first. I'm scared.
Yeah, I think Nintendo reveals the hardware first before Cody Rhodes finishes the story.
Well, then I'll take the Cody Rhodes thing. I bet your hair on it.
I just because like for them continuing to deny Cody, there's so much they could do with that. Once he wins, I think they don't necessarily know what to do next.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the problem with wrestling in general. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to book babyface champions. I get it. But it's also hard to have a white meat babyface. Maybe we need to figure that out, actually. Because, wrestling has gotten very bad, or it's just been very hard having successful whiteface championship runs. And it kind of just evolves into heels. Or even CM Punk, when he had his long title reign, it started as face and turned to heel because it's just so hard to maintain it like that. But I kind of crave it. I loved when Cena would just have long face title runs, even if I would pretend like I was edgy and boo him also. I admit it. Did I say white face? Excuse me.
You said
everybody.
white face, and I'm just like over here, man. He's drinking that 10% beer. Just please don't say anything about blackface. Please.
White meat baby face. Do you know what Umbreon's name is in Japan?
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, Sean taught me that one. Otto says, with the new Apollo Justice collection, that's like with the new Apollo Justice collection. Shut up, Jeff. I'm about 3 more sips away from making you read these. The new Apollo Justice collection, that's like calling Giant Bomb the Mitch Tokoto experience. What do you think or hope happens next with the Ace Attorney franchise, aside from another port/remaster? Funny that Ace Attorney is Capcom's only story-first franchise. Yeah, I guess you're right. We're gonna get Ace Attorney 7. We'll get that. It'll be the next game with Phoenix Wright, and Athena Sykes and Apollo Justice and all those goobers will still show up, and it'll be fantastic. But yeah, we're gonna get like the next sequel. That'll be next.
Yeah.
Seraphis Kane says, Grand Blue Fantasy Releague's all-time player count on Steam is more than double that of Infinite Wealth, Tekken 8, or Persona 3 Reloaded, which feels insane. Do you think that given its apparent success, we might see more free-to-play properties branch out into full retail games?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, like, it's a little hard to say because, like the Honkai Star Rail or what's the one with the
Genshin Impact?
Genshin Impact. Those are already kind of full games despite being free to play. This was a mobile game, and then it had a fighting game spin-off, and now we're here.
Yep, Grand Blue's very popular.
Grand Blue's very popular, and it has a lot of waifus. Its waifu game is stronger than Infinite Wealth's. Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely getting a lot of help from that. Good on. I still want to check it out at some point. Next one is Zubmer, who says, lately I've gotten into a bunch of indie cartoons, including Has-Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss, Laxadaisy, Digi Circus, and Atlas in the Stars. It's made me realize nearly all of the film and television I watch is animated. Otherwise, I'm not picky. I like your thoughts on animations and its contrast to live action, as well as regarding animation made by different categories of people and culture. Hey, I like animation a lot, Jeff. I think that it's, especially as it's like good old 2D animation, you can just kind of do anything can be done so you can draw it, right? That's all it is. Can you draw that? Then you do it. Even with CG, other difficulties can come up, although you basically can do anything you want. But I think the worst thing that maybe happened to 2D animation was that it got boxed in a little bit as being something for kids for a long time. But then you still had a lot of interesting, more mature things happening with Miyazaki and other people. So in general, if you told me I had to watch a movie and I could pick an animated one or a live action one, I'm going to probably always pick the animated one, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, at these days, I'm not like sitting down being like, I want to watch something animated or something live action. I'm just like, I want to watch something good. And, a lot of times that means it's going to be animated. I wish we were, especially in America, more in a place where something can just stay animated and they don't feel like they have to have a live action version for it to be taken seriously. Invincible right now. It has that great animated show, but now they're talking about there might be a live action one. It's like, no, just fucking watch the cartoon. Get over it.
I am very over live action adaptations, Jeff.
Mhm.
There was like one that I liked, and it was Jungle Book, and otherwise, I'm like, what is this? And then people are getting mad because they're doing a second attempt at it, like live action Avatar. Like, is it so important that we have live action Airbender stuff that we already messed up? We have to try again because it's just such a good idea that we can't just let it get away. I don't know. That drives me crazy. Hey, what's the indie cartoon with that clown that everybody was horny for?
I'm thinking.
Sean, Christian, what's that clown? The clown everyone wanted.
But Batman? I don't know. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you talk about Harley Quinn.
Yeah, talking about
Everyone wants to fuck Harley Quinn.
No, there's some new
And
thing
she's a
with the
Harlequin.
clown. No, there's some new thing.
One Piece.
Amazing Digital Circus. Thank you, the
Yeah,
entire wolf.
DigiCircus.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Zoomer mentioned that one.
Oh, is that one of them? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
I listen. I am unaware of clowns that people want to have sex with. I think.
Yeah, me
I'll-
too. Next thing is from the Tekken Wolf, who says, "What up, dogs? Do you guys ever have a very specific part of a game you absolutely can't stop gushing about, but no one else mentions? Infinite Wealth might have one of my all-time favorite gaming OSTs, but I don't think I've seen any reviews or people talk about it. Remember how much I specifically went on and on about the final boss fight in Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Jeff? Like, I forced you to beat the game to see it. 'Cause,
Right.
yeah. And I mean, everybody praised that game, but I don't know if I saw many other people specifically going on and on about the final boss fight like I did.
Right. Yeah. I definitely like it's in my brain, but that's because I talked to you and that was like drilled into there, like how important that was.
Same feelings with Kirby's Adventure. Incredible final boss sequence in Kirby's Adventure.
I guess I haven't I've been playing Infinite Wealth a lot, and I've been playing it on the Steam Deck. I guess the OST actually is pretty good, huh? I didn't really I haven't thought that out loud, but now that you mention it, it's like, yeah, I really have been enjoying that.
Is it better than Star Wars Jedi Survivors Grammy winners?
Of course not. This game does not have a Grammy, and that's how we decide these things. Real quick, I looked up this Digital Circus. This looks amazing. I don't think does that have a clown people want to fuck? It looks just like a reboot character.
Well, it's weird because she does just look like a This it does not look like a sexy clown or anything, but yeah.
I don't know what the fuck are you talking about, Mike? Then
Pomni, this Pomni character.
Does she just have like a really fuckable personality?
I don't know. Jeff. Look, I'm not here to explain the perverts. I'm sorry.
You're right. You're right.
Why you bring them then? Like, what is?
What?
Don't bring up the perverts. Don't bring up the perverts if you can't explain
I was
them.
just asking questions.
Oh well, now I'm starting to see some deviant arts. Okay, I get it.
It doesn't take long.
Yep. All right. Never mind.
It doesn't take long. I think it's just a bunch of repressed, weird sociological problems.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, they had a clown at a birthday party once, and it's all over for him.
You know, that market has to dry out. There aren't that many birthday clowns anymore, right? Nobody.
Oh no, we've got actual entertaining things now.
We don't need clowns anymore.
We don't need you anymore, clowns.
Let's see what is next here. Dean Bowling says, looking at the Nintendo console sale numbers yesterday, how much do we contribute the Wii U's downfall to the naming alone? Without a hook like the Wii Switch, I doubt it ever would have reached those heights. What do we think? 10, 20, 30 million console sales lost just from a name? Is that the biggest bag fumble from branding in game history? I think it's at least, I don't know. I'm not basing this on much but gut. At least 20 million consoles weren't sold because the name was so bad. Is that insane?
I mean, I feel like it's probably oversimplifying it, but I think if I were to make it more complex, really what I would be saying is, yeah, the name confused enough people that they lost a lot of sales. So you say, yeah, I think you're probably right.
I asked you a little bit about this, but you know, when the Xbox Series X was coming out, I really disliked the name, and I thought I compared it to Wii U a lot. Do you think that was actually a problem, or am I just trying to give myself an unearned victory lap here? Which isn't like victory lap, like, oh, I'm dancing over the grave of Xbox, which one, I wouldn't. Two, Xbox isn't dead. You know what I mean, though. I just can't imagine, like, a great named Xbox would have changed things much. That's my thing there. But listen, Xbox Series X name probably didn't help. Breadfish says Pikmin.
Fucking A. Let's fucking go, Breadfish. God, Pikmin's
Tree
goddamn
Fitty
good.
Kong says, yo, are you happy with 3.33 million for Pikmin? I know you were really happy with how well it was doing in Japan. Were you hoping that it would like maybe do better in other areas?
Yeah. That'd be really great if it like had a similar sort of trajectory as what it's having in Japan. But listen, that's really good for that franchise, and I hope that means that they will do more Pikmin. Listen, with it selling as well as it is in Japan, they're going to do more Pikmin.
There will be a Pikmin 5. A Pikmin a generation is good enough for me. That will make me happy.
Absolutely.
Tree Fitty Kong says, yo, dogs, Nintendo made a Mario dating simulator game and another game that's a Mario plumbing simulator. In which game do you guys think you lay more pipe in?
Listen.
Plumbers don't wear ties.
That's right. Plumbing simulator, because you can probably have sex in that one too.
Yeah, just make them both one game.
Right. What do you think plumbers do all day?
Allie Miracle says, as someone that kind of has just hit her nose in Final Fantasy 14 for 10 plus years, is Square Enix really pumping out just mediocre stuff? I have 16 and Final Fantasy 7 remakes in the backlog. Is it that bad? Just a case of bad marketing. Also, I'm trying Foam Stars. It's fun? Question mark. So Square Enix is like, we're changing our strategy and we're going to make better games. And what they mean is, it's dumb. What they mean is they want to focus on AAA games. They want a Capcom approach. And
Right.
Capcom does still do smaller things sometimes, but it's like, a remaster of Ghost Trick or a collection of Phoenix Wright games. But generally, if it's spending real money, it's going to be on Resident Evil or things like Dragon's Dogma 2. I think what Square Enix is talking about is, hey, why did we make freaking what was like those weird games that they made?
Various
Valkyrie.
Day Life.
Why did they make Various Day Life? And there was like 2 strategy RPGs that nobody played that came out a couple years ago.
But this
Quiet
kind of
Men.
sucks. It's just like,
well, sure, Diofield Chronicles. Yeah, that's what I'm
make
talking about.
the middle budget games better.
Yeah,
Don't
that's the
stop.
problem.
The answer isn't stop making them. It's like treat them like they're important, and people will believe they're important. Square Enix puts these games out, doesn't ever talk about them, doesn't treat them like they're important, and so everyone's like, it's okay to ignore these ones. And so what do? We ignore it. I mean, them running and be like, we can only be making our biggest games. Like, yeah, like that is clearly a good strategy when you are backed into a corner, and I suppose Square Enix is a little bit. But the fact that you were making a bunch of games is not your problem. It's a bunch of games that no one cared about.
Like, I think they just closed down Tokyo RPG Factory, and they made like all these retro RPGs that looked good at first, like I Am Setsuna.
I love I Am Setsuna.
Yeah, but like,
It's
I don't
a great
know.
game.
They didn't really hit, and maybe they could have been a bit better. Maybe they could have been. But one of them had rhyming that really threw people off. I remembered. Maybe that was Lost Sphere. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. Just make those games better. Make them, make them seem more important somehow.
Maybe there doesn't have to be as many of them. Like they did put out a
maybe there were a
lot.
few too many of them.
Like
Maybe
2022 had like a ton of like middle of the road Square Enix games. It's like, man, just take more time, spread those out, make them better.
Maybe you don't need Diofield Chronicle and Triangle Strategy coming out the same year and stuff like that. But no, it's not about the Final Fantasies. Not really. That's not what they're saying. They're not saying they're going to drastically change their Final Fantasy strategy. Although, like, 16 didn't do what it probably should have, and there were problems with 16. Yeah, I don't know. What, man? 16. I'm thinking about that more. And why, I don't know. I guess I
you
really
got a bin, Star.
I got a plan to get us out of here. When working down a convenience store, managed to save just a little bit of money. My old man's got a problem.
Yeah.
Lives with the bottle, that's the way it is. It says, Bob's too old to be working. Says, Bob's too young to look like his. Mama went and left him.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Life than he could give. Said, someone's got to take care of him. So I
quit school, that's what I did.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'll talk about
so that beer's 10%, huh?
It's pretty strong. Joyzy says, can I get Mike yelling Mike Minotti like the guy yells Mortal Kombat?
Oh, that's good.
Mike Minotti!
Really good.
All right. Days in Man 2 says, hello, Beef and Cheddar Quans. There's now a real possibility Switch surpasses PSU hardwares, but will it pass the software sales? Has Switch not already passed software sales for PS2?
PS2 would have like FIFA every year selling millions of copies. So I don't know. Let me see. Google PlayStation 2 software sales.
Yeah, I guess I'd be surprised that that's not already.
Because Switch is at 1.2 million. Oh, PS2 total software sales were 1.53 million.
Okay.
Or billion, excuse me. 1.53 billion.
That's a pretty big gap still then.
Yeah, and again, PS2 was just like
I'm surprised.
Had like such huge third-party support. Like that was the generation of just everything selling on PS2.
PS2 was actually still selling games, especially those sports games, well after like PS3 came out, right? Especially like a lot of other countries.
In a lot of territories, yes. Like it was like would lag behind, and they'd be like, "Yeah, we're happy to get these PS2 sports games every year. We're going to buy another several million copies of them."
Kevin says FIFA 23 came out on PS2. Is that true?
That's not true.
That's definitely not true. Yeah.
I don't believe you guys. I believe Kevin. Kevin said something good earlier. Okay, it's not true. I'm very gullible right now.
PlayStation always has more software sales than Nintendo because of the third-party support.
Okay, makes sense. But I mean, for Nintendo specific, Nintendo has sold more software than PlayStation has.
In terms of first party, yes.
Yes, in terms of first party. Okay,
without a doubt.
That's it. Why don't we take another break, Jeff? We'll read the rest of the super chats. We'll talk about what we've been playing, and we'll get out of here.
Sounds good.
Let's get to it.
You can't even like. Come on, man.
Look, I'm holding it together. It's fine. Fine. Don't make me self-conscious.
You're doing great. I think you're just playing it up. So that's exactly what's happening.
All right, you ready?
What about?
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go.
Dropping my bottle cap. And we are back. Jeff, do we have any more super chats, sir?
Yeah, we do. I think we read this one from Nintendo. So let's go with Connell Wood, who says, "So Game Pass on Switch 2? I think Microsoft would be happy to like bend what Game Pass is in order to make it to get it on there, because I think once they break the seal, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, well, can we do this on Game Pass on there, or hey, we negotiated this deal to get this game on Game Pass, and that means they're going to bring it to Switch, and this is a benefit to all parties involved. It's a win-win-win. But they got to get Game Pass into the door first. And so I think that they will kind of do what it will take to make that happen. That doesn't mean it will happen, but I think Microsoft is eyeing that as the path forward for Game Pass, which is not going to be their only play here. It's just going to be one of their plays.
I agree with that.
Let's see here. Kevin says that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer was fucking sick. We have not seen it, but in some ways, you could say maybe we don't need to see it.
Who could say? But
and the demo is out. Like they put out a demo.
Yes, yeah, and the demo has a progress that carries over to the final thing. If people were wondering,
yeah. Are you? Because Final Fantasy VII, the remake and Rebirth, or who could say about Rebirth? But like it has some of that silliness, more so than a Persona does, that you like so much in like a Dragon. I wonder if you're going to kind of enjoy that and maybe latch on to are you going to play Rebirth? I know you didn't beat Remake, but you liked it. Are you just going to try to?
I'm probably just going to go right to Rebirth. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay. I expect it to be very good, so looking forward to it. Nintenderic says, Jeff, how did the Ridge Racer hunt go last week?
Good question.
Listen,
Jeff, what'd you find out?
Guys, I have some information about Ridge Racer, but I've realized that I need to help my friend out. He has a real big drinking problem. Mike, I just can't give this to you until you get off the sauce, buddy.
I'll sober up.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll talk as soon as you're clean.
Hey, we talk about the Light Club, like making like each other play games we think we'll like sometimes.
Yeah.
If I did Light Club Dan Ridge Racer Type 4, do you think he'd like it? Because I don't think I could handle it if he didn't.
I think he would. I'm like struggling to think why you're even concerned about this. I think he'll love it.
I mean, the drifting can be a little tricky to get the hang of for a moment. But I don't think he would.
I don't think he would hold that against the game. And I think all of the accoutrement of Ridge
The
Racer and
juice.
PlayStation
The
1.
juice.
The juice. I think he's
He'd love
gonna
it.
be very hot and heavy about that. So
I think that's my dream. I think my dream Delight Club game for Dan is Ridge Racer Type 4, and my dream Delight Club game for you is that Gamera PlayStation 1 game with the English, but bad English Japanese cutscenes that just is a Panzer Dragoon knockoff. That is my
that
Delight
sounds
Club game for you.
fantastic. Okay.
I think you would love it.
I think I would love that. That sounds great.
I think we'd all would love watching you play it. but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll find a time to do Delight Club.
Jeff, like I said, I haven't really been playing much on Switch. I beat Golden Sun, and I'm taking a break before starting the very direct sequel,
Right.
so I can play Persona 3. So yeah, for the first time in a long time, I haven't really played a Nintendo game.
Is
this week.
Penny's Big Breakaway coming to Switch?
Is Penny's? I don't know, because I did play that, and I am definitely liking it. I kind of got access to a preview.
You do like it? Okay.
It is coming to Switch. I like it a lot.
Oh, okay,
It's,
that's great. I wasn't sure because I asked Jan about it, and I think he maybe couldn't remember exactly what you said, and I was like worried that maybe you were like, because I tracked down that preview copy. I'm going to be playing it here pretty soon. I'm like, I hope I like it because I just love the way it looks so much.
Yeah. It's very fun, and it's just so encouraging to see smaller developers or indie developers be able to make 3D platformers this competent and this aesthetically pleasing too. It definitely has that PS1, Dreamcast, Y2K aesthetic that I obviously like a ton. It has definitely some Sonic Adventure influence, but doesn't feel that pressure to be as fast as Sonic games can be, which is often to their downfall in 3D.
To their detriment, yeah.
Right, so this is just a lot more coherent, a lot more readable. No, I was very into what I played. I'm very excited for the full game.
That's very exciting for me. And for me, this is people get so worried about the future, what's happening with PlayStation and Xbox. And I'm like, those companies just aren't making enough of the kinds of games that I really love to be too worried about them anymore. It's it's all happening in these spaces now. And
let's be honest, Jeff. They're not making a lot of games. To really be worried
exactly.
about it.
Exactly.
We're gonna get that worried about the 2 games that they both put out each year.
Right.
Right.
And we're talking about a good year for them is 1 big game per quarter. And the chances of all 4 of those hitting is very slim. Maybe 2 of them I'm going to love. And that seems like it's a long shot in my personal case. But of the 14,000 games released on Steam every year, 1% could speak to me, and that's a lot of fucking video games. And it's all happening, and these games just continue to get better, and the production values look even higher. And I kind of only need them to get to about the Dreamcast level with a little bit of extra sauce on top, and I'm good. I'm so happy with that. And I think that's someone put out a tweet the other day of the PS2 mantra of a game that's about 12 hours long. That doesn't have any DLC. That is you complete it, you put it down. There's not a ton of extra put into the visuals. Just make it look like a really good.
They're not worried about how great you feel about 100%ing it,
right? Yeah, and it's man, if we could just convince developers that is a winning strategy, and maybe we're fooling ourselves. Maybe that's not a way to make money. But God, I hope it still is. And I think in the indie space, I really truly believe it is. Not for every game. There will be a lot of failures in those 14,000 games, obviously. But the fact that there's so many studios trying all the time to make games that we might like, I'm very happy with where gaming is at.
All right. So is there anything else you played you want to talk about?
I mean, it is still, when it comes to the Switch, it is Addie's playing games every day and asking me for help. So I'm still in Mario Odyssey all the time. She started playing Lego City Undercover because she's like, man, I've played a lot of these games a lot. Can you get me something new? Which is not something she said before.
Interesting. Oh.
Yeah. And I'm I have a lot of games that she hasn't touched. So I'm kind of going through those and getting that and surfing it. A Short Hike. I showed her that and she consumed every last ounce of A Short Hike. And we played that together a ton.
Interesting.
And that's been great. And it's one of the benefits of having kids that are into games is I get to go back to these games I love very frequently and just dabble in them a little bit and get a taste and get that dopamine hit of being like, oh yeah, this is why I love this game. And A Short Hike, we got to see the ending of that again, and it's real powerful stuff. That's just such a good game. I think a short hike. I got to look at my top 100 games list because it needs to be in there somewhere. It is one of the best things ever made. I really love a short hike. So yeah. Oh, I need to play a little Gator game. Connellwood says I need to play that next because people say it's very similar, but like the Zelda side of things instead of the Mario side.
Is Emmy still kind of in her I don't really like video games phase, or is that been going on?
A little bit, but she so we kind of identified what the problem is. I think she gets a little stressed out by anything that has monsters. So I explained to her there's some games that don't have monsters, and I told her about Animal Crossing. And this is like, hey, if we get better at reading, you could start playing Animal Crossing. And she hasn't really played it, but when we start talking about video games, she goes, Animal Crossing is my favorite video game. And I think just because she likes the idea of there not being monsters and stuff.
Okay, all right, interesting.
So
cozy gamer.
Yeah, cozy. I think she just kind of doesn't want to be stressed out by her games. And I'm like, I completely understand that. So there's that, and there's a few other things. She has like really cooled off on Kirby though, which was surprising.
Whoa.
To me. Yeah.
Even after I got her that Kirby wristband,
she likes that, and she still likes some of her Kirby toys. And like there will be days where they still play a ton with like the Pikmin toys will come back out and they'll play a ton with the Pikmin toys. And there will be days where like, oh man, look, they're playing with Escargoon and all the Kirby things. So they still like will play with them sometimes.
Sure.
But like when she mentions like video games, Kirby doesn't come up too often anymore.
What's number 100 on your top 100 games list?
I think it's Flappy Bird.
God damn it.
That's the response I want. Like, that's the thing. That's like when it comes like going like wrapping back around to our conversation we had, I think even before the show started.
Yeah.
If a work of art or a work of creation like does something that pisses a lot of people off, I'm probably gonna like it. It's so mean.
That's why you wanted to watch that awful Zack Snyder movie a second time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, oh, I feel something. Yeah, that feeling is hatred, but it's something. I don't know, just a strong response. It's you smell something awful, but you can't stop smelling it. It's like, what the fuck? Like something about that gets me.
Mike, what's your number 100 game?
Mike, what's your number 100? I'm really bad at that. Mike, what's your number 100 game? I can remember when you're asking me something, it's never because you actually are interested. You're like, just trying to get it back around to you.
Interested in yours.
Yeah.
I was interested in yours.
Tell me, Mike.
It was Quackshot, then I had to reorganize because of all the games last year. Right now, my number 100 is The Minish Cap. Your favorite game.
Have fun, I guess.
Have fun, I guess. Can I have a Rocket Knight series that's just called Having Fun?
Oh, that's good. That's just for us, but it's still real good.
Oh my God, we could just get Rebecca on it.
That'd be really good.
Great.
I got a couple more super chats here. At least
go for it.
One more.
Oh yeah, go.
Big Fresh 37. Would the industry be better off if all game companies were privately owned and didn't have shareholders?
Everything would be better off without shareholders.
Probably.
Imagine a world without shareholders, right? Everybody's kumbaya. Shareholders are the worst. It's awful. It's a death to creativity. It's a death to happiness. I don't. But oh no, here we are.
So I think the argument in favor of shareholders would be like the need to grow to satisfy shareholders forces these companies to take risks and try new things. But when we look at what really happens, we know that just simply isn't true. It frightens these companies away from risk drastically, and we are stuck with the same old shit over and over again because these companies are deathly afraid of trying to do anything that might upset the earnings in the next quarter. So, Nintendo has shareholders, and they have somehow kind of whipped them into shape and be like, turn them into their little doggies that they walk around. It's like the one company on earth that has done that. I don't know how they've done it other than just like they just kind of like, we don't give a shit. We're going to do Nintendo.
It's easy to do that right now when times are good, right? I mean, Disney had that too. And Disney was having some of the greatest years any company ever had. But then as soon as it goes south,
you're right. And you know,
look out.
And maybe like the laws in Japan kind of make it like more favorable. So they're like, hey, we're not going to lay people off. We're actually going to cut our own pay and stuff when things are bad. I don't know. It still feels like even when times are tough for Nintendo, they do things their own way a little bit, but maybe it's just because they are a Japanese company, and that's a big part of it.
Anything else?
No other super chats. So I think we're all caught up. Yes, because the last one was Nintendogs asking about Ridge Racer.
Well, I think we're done here.
All right, fantastic.
Get the hell out of here.
That's great because I gotta help Steph with some stuff. She's got to go teach some people in Europe how to be middle managers. All right, so let's hit this button. Actually, it's gonna.
Did you teach me?
No, Mike, you're not a middleman. Well, I guess you kind of are a middle manager, aren't you?
I kind of am.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll get you a phone call with her, and she'll tell you just treat people like
Fantastic.
human beings. All right. There's the music.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us today, everybody. We'll be back on Thursday with Game Mess Decides. Tomorrow, Flight Club, Mike McQuanchy returns. He's in the Earth Temple. Let's see if we can get through it.
Mike, I'm so worried about this game, man.
Well, I know. I know. You guys wouldn't let me play. What I love is I'm like, I want to play this. Like, oh, we can't make you
you're
play.
right.
And
Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah, well, you're trying to make you like, well, aren't you? Oh, don't you feel stupid now, Mike? I'm like, no. What I said was it would be a good Blight Club game.
I think I was trying to. I think it's mostly Dan.
Well, yeah, but you agree with him immediately.
Well, yeah, because it's like yes and then you get mad, and then I have to yes and you, and it's kind of a
catch all of it. But there was some kind of even larger conspiracy that I wasn't aware of about all this Blight Club stuff with me and mythologies that you guys are talking about.
Oh, I don't remember any of this. I don't remember.
Did you want to say anything? I kind of dominated that quiet music time.
No, that's great. Let's get out of here. Bye, everybody.
I know what a clitoris is. You got a band star. I got a plane. I'm gonna get us out of here. John Mullins. The problem is that they just might not announce it yet. It's okay. There'll be a Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's not a
no
bug
problem.
for real.
It's no problem.
The problem is the Switch is selling too well.
Asshole.
3 inches of
Because it's
girth?
over.
What? 3 inches of girth? What?